Well, it's nationally renowned. I mean, I grew up 90 miles up the road in Cincinnati, and you talk about some of the great rivalries in American sports, really, not just college basketball, and Louisville, Kentucky's one of them. Obviously, being in this town and your boots being planted here, and they made it very, very clear early on how big this rivalry was, but the whole world knows it. The whole world, the entire college basketball world knows the significance and the history, pageantry of this great rivalry. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it was solidified in my mind very clearly by everybody, but I was well aware before coming here.
Pat, how does things change for you guys preparing for them if Butler can't go? He's been out the last 2 games. How does he change?
Yeah, I mean, my expectation is, in our preparation, is that he's 1,000% going to play, but there's no guarantee of that. I mean, heck, somebody could sprain their ankle in practice today down in Kentucky. Somebody could do the same thing here. Somebody could get sick. You never know. You're preparing like he's obviously going to play. He's a really, really good player, but they're extremely deep. They're very talented, so if he doesn't play, other guys will step up. I'm sure they have the next man up mentality just like we do. But with their depth and things like that, regardless of whether he plays or doesn't, it's a very, very, very potent, dangerous team.
Pat, you've mentioned you prepare for the same for all. Go back to some of the rivalries you've been involved in, and how is it different when you're facing that team?
Yeah, I mean, you guys hear me in these interviews all the time, and I really, really, really believe it. I don't read any of your articles, no offense. Someone sent one to me the other day talking about, and there was a paywall on it, so I had to steal somebody's password and read it, and there was a mention of that we were somehow looking ahead. I didn't even stinking mention the name, the name of our next opponent before we played him. Ever. Like we had the ultimate respect for UTEP. Like there was fear in our guys' hearts because of what they brought to the table. We missed some shots, but our dudes played stinking hard. And then we turned the page and we focused on our next opponent. And as we know, we just talked about it, this opponent means a lot. This rivalry, this game means a lot. And rivalries are what makes sports awesome. On a lesser scale nationally, but within the I-275 loop in greater Cincinnati, Cincinnati and Xavier were a really, really big rivalry. And I was a part of that growing up. My father played at Xavier. I played there, and the city stands still when that game happens. Same thing happens here in this state, but the nation really, really recognizes this one as well. But you could go on and on. I'm going to forget some of them, but I grew up in Ohio, as I just said, and Ohio State, Michigan in football. The state stands still, and you know what? The nation kind of does as well in terms of the college football world. So it's what makes sports great. It's what makes college sports great. Rivalries. Let's just be honest. And Coach Prosser used to say this all the time when he was at Xavier and he first got to Xavier, and they were playing Cincinnati, and there was a bunch of years in a row where Cincinnati won a bunch of the crosstown shootouts. And his quote, and I really believe in this: unless you start winning one every once in a while, it kind of stops being a big rivalry. And I'm well aware of that. I know how much it means to our fan base in this city to win this game, and I put everything I got and our players do into our next opponent, and we're doing the same stinking thing for this game. And just to make everybody feel a little bit better at home, maybe a little bit more. Why not?